What's up, everybody? I am officially in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, it has been a long drive, but I am officially here. Um, Today has been fun. It's been fun. It's been funny. When me and Miss Debbie get together, it's like giggly girlfriends with Christ. Woke up early, had some errands to run. Went from store to store, grocery store that is, trying to figure out what we're going to eat on a budget. So we came up with tuna fish, spaghetti, cod, and maybe a little bit of chocolate in between. But all in all, I'm probably about 17 or 18 hours in, and I've probably got 4 hours of sleep. But then again, I was on the phone for a long time last night. So, anywho, um, but I just wanted to shout y'all out, let y'all know I've arrived safely. Um, I'm looking forward to what God has in store. I know, I'm supposed to be resting and getting poured in and all that good stuff. So I need to position myself to receive. But at the same time, I'm a willing vessel, so there's no telling what God's going to do or paths that we're going to cross. Um, the bus trip was cool. The girl that I said that I would get back to you about, she was a first time Greyhounder. And when we got off in, I believe, Cincinnati, yeah, she was in the waiting room. Her name is Annie. And, a smile welcomes a smile. And so I came off and I was smiling like, hey, she's like, hey, she's and I guess it put her at ease. So maybe I felt like maybe I was her spiritual guide to get her to calm down. I don't know. We don't always know what God's doing with us. But sometimes you can just tell that God does things. Like maybe I was used to be an agent to where it's evidence that God has His hand on you, whether you realize it or not. And in a point in your life, like how in the past God has had His hand on you, but you don't realize that He's had His hand on you until you give your life to the Lord and you kind of look back and you're like, wow, God, you've been there all the time. So maybe this was one of those times where God utilized me to be there for her because she was traveling to Nashville, I believe, to meet up with some guy that maybe she met online. I'm not sure, but she was getting all bedazzled and whatnot. But she may have got on the wrong bus because she didn't know. She may have got off at the wrong stop. Don't know. But she was really using me as a resource to for travel. So I'm sure God spared her life in some way or shape or form, even though the decision that she's going to make is might not be the greatest decision. And so we just cover Annie, and that whoever this gentleman is that she's going to meet doesn't do any harm or danger to her. That it's a lesson, hopefully not a bad lesson, but maybe it's something that will push her towards Christ. She knows I'm a Christian. We didn't really have a ministerial type of conversation, but at the same time, we are examples. Sometimes we can be that centurion, if I said that right, person that's just walking along the same path or going the same direction that the travelers are going, and you just help them. And I kind of feel like this was a centurion experience because one thing's for sure, she walked away knowing that I was a Christian, that I was a good person, black woman. And if there was ever any stereotypes that was ever issued or whatever the case may be in a case like this, we scored one for our team. Christian, young black woman, traveling, smiling, offering juice, offering chocolate, offering conversation, smiles, thumbs up. So I'll just call this the Centurion experience. And I just pray that along the way, if she hasn't got Christ already, she finds him and she comes back to this moment. Not necessarily to remember me, although I would be honored, but not necessarily to remember me, but to remember that when you were doing something that you probably had no business doing, God had his hand on you. And I'm honored that God used me in that traveling experience. So this is only day one, people. And so far, so awesome. Later, I'll potentially take you on a tour, or the next video, will take you on a tour of my digs. Give you that night shot and give you a day shot. We shall see. But until then, you stay blessed. You stay covered. You stay in his presence. And I'll see you again shortly. All right? Love y'all. Peace.